I told the story about us. The other thing we like to talk about is finding ways to series these images. So to help people to find out what kinds of images that they'd like based on how much room they have in their house. But some people have a lot of room, big walls, or they may own an office or a hospital or a place where they really want to show nature images. And but they just don't know quite where to start on one side of the cardinal and another one on the other side. So there's all kinds of stories and themes that can take place. Of course, that theme would be the snow falling down and the two cardinals, and then in their environment, which is in the woods, which of course they like to hang out, and then the theme being the snow. But you can also do things like yesterday when I put these all together, we had the snow coming down, a winter scene, and tying into the eagle landing on ice, of course, a winter scene. And then I went from that into noticing how the rays of the sun come up and out just like the wings of the eagle come up and out. So there's another way to tell a story. So it's kind of interesting and fun to put things like that together. So Bill, when people need help with knowing how to put things together for their large walls or their places, it's something that we can always help them with. And of course, going back into more of a summer scene and the frog, and then taking this little red bit of color and drawing then into the color of the leaves here with the red, it all kind of flows together. And then of course these are leaves, and then in the fawn picture we draw into the leaves there. So there's another way. These three images really work well together.
Yeah, they do.
Don't you think?
They really do.
So they're not all the same, but they just draw in. Another thing I look for. Go ahead.
I was just going to say what's really interesting about this one, which you probably won't be able to see on the slideshow here, but that your photograph, or your picture I should say, is actually reflected right in the eye of the frog. I mean, that's such a neat little detail.
And actually I think you can see that this camera's picking it up pretty well.
If you know the story about that, it's just such a fun thing to look for.
Yeah, I was laying on my belly when I was photographing him, so my reflection got into his eye. So yeah, it was pretty special.
It was.
But one thing I do look for too is when I'm seriesing things up, is this head, the frog's head, is leaning into the next image. And then again, subsequently, we've got the fawn who's also facing into that middle image. So if somebody were to take these three images and say, I really want this on my wall, it looks great here, then you get that leaning into that center image, which draws the two together. So anyway, do you have any other questions?
Well, I mean, I also really do like the cranes too, the sandhill cranes here, because it's just such a symmetry of wings.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Wings. In fact, there's so much in symmetry you can't even tell there's three. Here's a beak just poking out there. I finally saw that. I thought when I first saw this image, I thought there's two birds and 6 wings. I mean, how can that be? Well, he's back there, but they're all in synchronicity there, and I think that's a really neat feature, that one.
Thank you.
And I do love the mushrooms. There's something about that mushrooms I just really like. In fact, there's even a little spider web right up here.
Yep. You can see a lot of detail in that.
Yeah, and then this is one of those ones when we lit it from above. This little piece almost becomes 3-dimensional. It really goes
Yeah, it's amazing what what light does out in the field when I'm actually photographing, and then when you work with it in the darkroom, well, the digital darkroom nowadays, but then afterwards, just the way whatever light people put their images in, or whatever light they put on them, it can focus even more on what you want to be the focal point within the image. But
it's nice that we have 24 of my favorite images of yours here at the Rookery Pub and Cafe, but we're going to have that big screen plasma TV, and we're going to circulate dozens more, so that'll be really nice.
That's going to be really great.
So we'll have a huge variety for people to choose from. It'll be really.
It's going to be really fun. Well, yeah, thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thank you.
And
these guys are flying to this watering hole over
I
here.
think you're right. I think you're right. That's exactly how we set it up. So. Anyway, to see more images, come to the Cable Nature Lodge, where we have the exclusive Kristen Westlake Fine Art Gallery. and wonderful, wonderful food from our new chef here, Eric. What's Eric's last name?
Eric Raymond.
Eric Raymond.
Yep.
And great place to stay in the North Woods. Wonderful, wonderful rooms with big king size beds and everything that you can imagine is right here. Also visit my website, Kristen Westlake, at www.kristenwestlake.com, or Google me if you can't remember, or wisconsinphotos.com. It's all the same. Thank you.